Okay, I just couldn't, put the next slide. All right. So, 40 years ago, and when I was young, maybe you guys also with my same age, this is all our, games around when we are young, and nothing we touching about the devices or any IT gadget or electronic that we so-called. So all are kind of, ordinary like football, rubber, this is eraser, and this is a bottle cover. And some maybe have, those swimming, in the some drain and some rubber estate as well, right? As I still remember when I was young and catching spider. All right. So nowadays, slightly different since for the past 10 years and 20 years when the technology, come into our life. Our young children, nowadays holding with the phone, even we give them a laptop, or the PC to use because of the pandemic. They have to stay at home and attend the class. These kind of things have been edited. Sometimes we want to take it back from them. They will sour face to you to show you, right? All right. Yeah, even our adults, even my grandmas, they also need to communicate to their grandchildren, in overseas, as well as we are holding number of phones. And during our works as well, we will discuss, some reminder, from this so-called share market. They have to look after numbers of, computers in front of them. So we cannot run away from this so-called new technology because we need to, connect to the outside world. Okay, talking about air pollution, we know we do have water pollution, whereby we do have a Kangen water, the solution for us. Air pollution, probably you wear your mask, try to avoid this kind of a so-called manufacturing area, and we don't want to stay around that area. Try to, stay away from this so-called air pollution. Noise as well. But today, not only those water, air, or noise pollution, we also have this so-called comings, in our life since 10 years ago. And until today, it's getting more and more bombarded ourselves, our children, and our parents as well. So this is so-called electromagnetic radiation pollution. Everyone knows that, like Wi-Fi, smart meter, cell phone, getting more and more and getting advanced. What is the difference between electromagnetic radiation pollution versus others pollution? Right. So this radiation or so-called electromagnetic radiation is totally, we cannot sense it, we cannot touch it, or we cannot see it. From this video, you can see, right, because it show you the wavelength, from small or big. It came from all the gadget or all the electrical appliances from your house, not only from your house, but also from the outside, especially your neighbors or Wi-Fi, all the high field tower, all coming along. So everyone know about radiation. When I do my demo or even to my client or my friend customer, they all know about radiation. When you say which radiation spectrum are you talking about or we cover, right? You have to tell people when you say radiation. Everyone know because very famous, right? Because X-ray, gamma ray. When you went to this dentist or even the hospital, you check the x-ray, your teeth, see whether is that okay or not. Of course, everyone know there is a radiation inside the room. Those are so-called ionizing. They need more energy. So radiation got two types. One is ionizing, another one is non-ionizing. So today we cover more on the non-ionizing, where it cover from 3 megahertz to 1 gig, which is I always mention about under non-ionizing radiation, but it's below 1 gigahertz. So meaning to say those are power line, radio, cell phone, whatever gadget or electrical appliances in our house or even in the office. That's what we cover the radiation. So we did not cover those like X-ray, gamma. That one need more energy. More energy means you actually destroy our DNA some more, right? So what kind of electromagnetic radiation sources, coming from? As I mentioned earlier, aircon, TV, even the LED light bulb, our DB board and the microwave, all the plugs and the phone and computer as well. This is part of that. Basically, we will have more and more coming, so we most of the time will be bombarded by the electromagnetic radiation. So how do we detect the electromagnetic radiation? All right, we're using this so-called RD9100 radiation detector. So the unit of the measurement is using microwatt per cm square, right? So when any gadget or devices, right, the phone, when it touch with this the coil, the round shape, coil, so-called copper coil, it will have show in the range on the screen itself from this detector from 1 microwatt to 1999 microwatt cm per square. It will display. It's depending on which kind of electrical appliances you are detecting. If show 1, the LCD display show 1 is mean overloaded, right? So overloaded is actually kind of consider more than 2000 microwatt. So the microwatt means is a power density of electromagnetic radiation from that gadget or the devices we use, at our house or office. Right? How do the guide, from electromagnetic, how harmful it is based on the what I just now mentioned, right? 1 to 1999. So there is the chart. If we say from green zone 0, if we detected from the RD9100, it shows 0 to 200 is still acceptable, right? Probably those is a small gadget or small devices. If we go to 200 to 1000, yellow, slightly dangerous. What we are more concerned is about the yellow zone until the red zone, which is more than 1000 microwatt cm per square till 2000 more until the red zone. So this is considered extremely dangerous. And let me show the pointer. All right. So let's say if you're exposing yourself from yellow zone to red zone for long hour, we are talking about long hour. We are not using those electrical appliances for just a short while, then we throw away, right? So most of the time we might have like at least 2 years, 3 years, and one day you might have using for 3-4 hours, especially our phone, right? Even the running the project for this computer, right? Most of the symptom will be have like when we talking the phone, we holding the phone, right? Your ear will feel like numbers, or red, we will feel, then we change to another side. Most of the time, longer hour, we will feel body pain, headaches. Headaches is the most, appear, for most of us. And some might be sleeping problem, at night for a long hour, you exposure or bombarded by those gadgets. Stress, anxiety, immune system problem also, because slowly it can cause you your immune system. I also part of that. Later I will show you how eyes was part of the electromagnetics bombarded by, and the worst case is actually cancer. It accumulated, right? Okay, let's see the video, from how this emGuarde plus this RD9100, how it detect and how it actually can cancelling and suppressing this so-called electromagnetic radiation.
Okay, guys, I'm going to explain to you.
Hold on.
The RD9100.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this RD9100, when it detect, it's actually from 1 microwatt per cm square. This is a unit that detects, and up to the 1999 cm per square. So if you above the 2000, you will show 1, right? Indicate 1. Means it's actually overloaded and beyond 2000 microwatt. So we turn on the detectors. That's how detectors work. When you put the phone close into the, this so-called ring, the copper coil, right? It shows 1000 over. It depends on phone. Some phone might be, even overloaded to until 1. Yep. Some is actually around 1500, 1400. Yeah. So handphone is quite harmful to our body, especially our young children holding for a number of hours, even our adults also. And when you see this is 1000, even more than 2000 microwatt, when you turn on the emGuarde itself, everything back to 00. So when I say 0 to 200 is a green zone, acceptable, right? Now it's a 0. Consider it acceptable after we turn on the emGuarde, right? If we do another control test, yes, it's back to 1 overloaded. So it's kind of a harmful bombarder to our body, right? Then the next is actually show the induction cooker. So induction cooker, when without power, there's no radiation. When you power up, you can see, we try to power to the 1600 watt, and it show 1 more than 2000 microwatt. So while you are cooking, with the big induction cooker in your kitchen, you are actually being absorbed, bombarded by the electromagnetics radiation. And you see, when we turn on the emGuarde itself, it back to 00. Apart from the phone, induction cooker, we also do the experiment for the DB board. Yep, this is a DB board. I went, to some of the client in office. The DB board is just right below their sitting, because of space issue, they need to, fully occupy the space. So some have no choice. I consider those is actually hot seat. And some of our house also quite near to this. You see, imagine this DB board is quite far away. You still can able to detect, the electromagnetic radiation, show to 1 is high. Then another video I try to show you is a lot of people, when I talk to them about this emGuarde or even the electromagnetics detected by the RD9100. Then what they say, why not? I put it away, but I didn't, going to touch anything. They should be okay, right, isn't it? Then I put the phone into the speaker mode. How? But again, the electromagnetics, it can be travel into our body through the negative effect from the noise. You see, so the source coming from the phone itself, yes, right? When you see, we detect nothing from our body, but when we play the video, right, with the speaker and the sound, you can see in our arm, our body can detect up to 1, or which is 2000 microwatt, right? So again, this so-called electromagnetics, the effect actually come from the negative effect from the noise itself. So our young children who play the phone with the sound, or even you listen to the YouTube and so on, is already bombarded and absorbed from our body. All right. Okay. After the video you saw, and yeah, that is true that electromagnetic radiation around in our house, in even our community, there is a lot bombarded us 24/7 without fail. And how this electromagnetic radiation affect our health, right? I've been talking electromagnetic, right? So how actually, it affect our health. Okay, from the Federal Communication Commission, FCC, in the Bulletin 65, OET, in the page number 8, it's already mentioned the limit for our human body absorb for the RF energy is actually most efficient than the others. The range is actually between 30 to 300 megahertz, where our body absorption is being most effective. So meaning to say, anything's electrical appliances emitted this so-called electromagnetics, right? Within 330 meg to 300 meg, whereby our body is easily to be absorbed, because our body is like a sponge. It's very easy to absorb if we within the range of this 30 to 300. So it's most restricted by the FCC. Another meaning to say is most destructive into our body. So let me show you the frequency of our body organs. Actually, our body organ also got some frequency, even our our cell as well. Without any frequency, we are actually like that body, right? So even our heart also have a pumping, 1 second you pump a number of thousand, blood. So that is a frequency. When you see from the chart here, the brain frequency itself is a 72 to 90. Even heart also 67 to 70 megahertz, right, frequency. Overall, I can say from 50 to 90 megahertz is our body organs frequency. So FCC 30 to 300 megahertz, and our body is actually 50 to 90, right? Easily to absorb this kind of electromagnetics. Let's say how the resonance works. Yeah. Okay. Let's say this is the 512 hertz, and try to resonate or vibrate the ball through the ball hertz. The same range is actually able to vibrate the ping pong ball. So if we are using 512, it's actually not wrong tune, wrong channel. It is not able to vibrate the ping pong ball. But if in the same tune, it will occur, right? The frequency is equal to close to natural frequency of body organs. Meaning to say, if the electrical appliances or anything emitted, the frequency is 50 to 90, which is matched to our body, you will get vibrated, right? So this is so-called resonance. That's why some people are so sensitive, they will get headache, from when they went into, like this video I show you, right? This is one of the developers went into one of the Airbnb, and the minute he actually went in, he actually experienced some of the headaches. And what happens was he got some gadget to measure. So this is so-called SDR, software defined radio. And you see, from the phone itself, 72 actually is the frequency of your brain, right? Just like I mentioned, 72 to 90. And because of this kitchen, the LED light, nowadays we all change to LED light because we want to save cost, right? You see, once you turn on the LED light, which is a 72 megahertz, the first LED, the smaller one, you can see the blue wave, along. This is how the SDR can detect the electromagnetics, emitted from this so-called LED. And that's why the developer was so headache when they came into this kitchen, right? So this spectrum even worse when they turn on to the second light, the LED light on top of that. This one, first one, then the second one. The wavelength of the spectrum even dark, in the blue. So that some people, when hit with this, you will vibrate your brain, then you will have a headache. This is so-called resonance. And we see the minutes he actually do the test to turn on the emGuarde. Yep, the headache was gone, and the electromagnetics, the blue wave, the spectrum also gone. Right? The minute we unplug the emGuarde, it came back, the noise. So this is so-called the negative effect of the noise. You see the noise so active. You actually vibrate and resonate to your brain, so that you headaches. All right. So we need some technology to protect us, which is emGuarde. All right. So apart from that, some documentation how electromagnetics harmful, to our body, especially the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, is already classified World Health Organization, WHO, in the press release on the 31st May 2011. So more than 12 years ago, it's already mentioned, classified radio frequency electromagnetic field as possibly carcinogenic to human. Wow. So carcinogenic means cancer, right? So glioma, and they classified this as a 2B, so far 2B, and the risk for glioma, which is the brain tumor or brain cancer, when you're using the wireless phone. And the 2B, yes, is a RF EMF. So this 2B used to be our tobacco smoke, right? This is used to be our tobacco under the 2B, but after 50 years down from previously until now, the tobacco is already in the group 1. So it's confirmed, will create you have a long hour or long term for smoking, you will possible to get the cancer. And this electromagnetics were from 2B to one sooner or later when technology comes along, getting more and more. For those who actually holding the iPhone, you may go to this step, right? So you may go to this step to check your phone. There is a disclaimer about RF exposure. Actually, this so-called big company, they would like to cover their backside lah. So disclaimer to to avoid any legal against them, right? So in the sentence, I think the third paragraph, reduce exposure to RF energy, use hand-free options such as built-in speaker, phone, headphone, and other similar accessory. Right, so anything happen, you still want to hold your phone beside your ear. Anything happen to the brain tumor, cause the brain tumor, you have to bear your own consequences. Right. Further, we also have some documentation from this so-called biological and medical aspect of electromagnetic field. In this book, they also mention about specific absorption rate, the SAR. So SAR is already measured that how the absorption rate from our body against this so-called electromagnetics. Okay, from the highlighted 0.06 is gig, which is a 60 to 100 megahertz. Our average absorption rate is higher, which is start from more than 10, 16, 12, meter per square, right? So compared to the others like 1 gig, 2 gig, or even 5G hertz, where it's in the flat, like 2.5, average 2.5, meaning to say our body have a mechanism to defense anything above the 100 meg, where it will bounce back. It will not be absorbed. Because why? Our organs are just, I mentioned, 50 to 90 megahertz, where this is the absorption rate very high in this book, biological medical aspect of electromagnetic field. All right. Another book, as a Kangen distributor, the Killing Cancer Not People from Robert Wright, right? And American Anti-Cancer Institute also mentioned inside the book for page 94 and 95. And yeah, electromagnetics, cordless phone, cell phone, smart meter, computer, Wi-Fi, connection to autism, Alzheimer, obesity, multiple something, allergy, cancer, and others. And it also include decrease in immune function and cancer, right? So it's already in the books so many years, since I guess 13 years or 14 years from AACI. Even the root cause of cancer, our Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Otto Warburg, right? He always mentioned about cancer have two basic conditions. One is the acidosis, when in the Kangen side, acidosis, right? Alkali acid, right, for our body, and as well as a hypoxia. So hypoxia means it's a lack of oxygen. How this so-called electromagnetics, how it actually cause our cell or cellular or body is being under hypoxia situation. Let's see from this Dr. Magda Howard, PhD, Canadian researcher and professor. She researched teaching area of environmental and health effect of electromagnetic pollution, electro smoke, as well as the focus on the biological effect of electromagnetic radiation, our bodies, right? So in her research about live blood analysis, actually our body, the red blood cell, healthy one, is actually like buoyant. All like buoyant means you are healthy, and yeah. Then if we are holding during the research, he get people to holding the phone for 10 minutes or just chatting over the phone. So the live blood cell is actually like stacking, you see. So this so-called like rouleau formation. So rouleau formation is not good our body, especially Dr. Otto Warburg mentioned. Hypoxia means this is stacking without oxygen. Even the 70 minutes, I think 70 minutes is lesser when you have a project, right? You want to sit on the your laptop or computer in front of a computer, sometimes can get 2 to 3 hours, isn't it? So this is a live blood analysis. You will see all like rouleau formation. So what rouleau formation will cause you what symptom, right? Your blood circulation poor circulator and low oxygen, like this Dr. Otto Warburg also said, hypoxia, right? And this headache fatigue right? Difficult concentrating. Yeah, after you taking a phone for an hour, you are very difficult situation. Numbness, tingling, and cold extremities. So those is actually symptom, bombarded by the electromagnetics. Another research also come from this so-called the Taiwan specialist, Dr. Liu homing ophthalmology. Actually, his wife having the dry eye disease for quite some time, and he himself as an eye specialist only provide some medicine and eye drop and so on, but still couldn't help his wife about to recover back to normal. But somehow, some way, some of the friends borrow emGuarde, to put it at home, and eventually, yeah, the dry eye disease improved, getting better. He's actually not certified as an eye specialist, and he want to do the own due diligence, research on this so-called emGuarde. He get the 10%, which is 3 male and 7 female, to test this emGuarde, the healthy volunteers, 19 to 60 years old. And on his this so-called control test, for the first stage itself, he measured the so-called their eyeballs, the artery, the peak systolic velocity, the speed of the so-called circulation of the eyeball, the artery, the small blood vessel is normal 20.1 plus minus, right? The speed. And the second stage, he asked them to chatting on the phone or even looking at the phone or holding phone for 30 minutes, right? Then it dropped to the 16.2 centimeter per second, the blood, circulation from the eyeball itself. Wow, you see, drop immediate after 30 minutes you use the phone. Then after you turn on the emGuarde, 1 gig below, 25.9, even higher than the first stage pre-test. Imagine. So why this dry eye disease for number of years? Because of the blood microcirculation, the blood flow affected by the electromagnetics. All right. So environment harmonizer, this is the emGuarde. How it works? Let me put before it works, then it's actually the spec is actually patented technology. It's being patented, and no any in the world so far. This is a patented and from Malaysia, and it covering up to 4 meter radius, 8 meter diameter. It's like a sphere, up 12 feet, down and left, right, front, back, all 12 feet, right? Frequency ranging up to 1 gig, right? USB type, and the beauty is actually this power consumption is 0.5 watt and very light. 430 gram, and it's a DC with 5 volt. And the credential for this emGuarde is not new. It's not like 3 months ago when we launching products. Actually, it was awarded some of the certificates or some gold medal from the ITEX International Invention, Innovation and Technology Exhibition during 2010. So meaning to say it's already in the market for 13 years. The early version was a computer radiation reducer, right? Then subsequent in 2016 in the ICANN, the Canada competition, they got a gold medal award as well. Now, not only computer, but it's reduced the electromagnetic radiation from electrical appliances. You see, electrical, all your massage chair, LED light, anything. Then again, in the IIIC 2017, now not only the cancelling or remove the electromagnetic radiation, but also able to speed up the micro circulation waveform. All right. So this is how just now the Dr. Yuanjie wife get improved. Right. So this is the technology. Typical radiation source is actually like wavelength into our body, right? Without fail, right? Then how when we turn on the emGuarde, it actually first analyzing within the coverage area, which is the radiant 4, and then they will detect what kind of frequency ranks, starting analyzing. Then they were starting, once they analyze it, they were starting do the cancellation, the frequency. So energy has no pathway to travel out from this sort, meaning to say we will not have any electromagnetic bombarded us, especially our young children. The frequency cover from 3 to 1 gigahertz, which is 1000 megahertz. This range not only cover the FCC 30 to 300, also cover our body organ 50 to 90 megahertz, right? So that's how before and after the cancellation of the frequency. And it's patented because with this test lab report, right, you see, normal, the wavelength is a continuous in the blue, without fail, right? 30 meg to 1000 megahertz. In the lab, they do the test. And after it turned on this so-called emGuarde, it actually elevated or even cancel or neutralize, the electromagnetic wavelength into the single, like pillar, right? So this one I skipped is the same like the SDR software just now I show you from the all right. Another statement about patented. So this is one of the statement being disclosed by the developer. They're using the blood flow measuring device, right, to measure the our artery, the blood circulation. Initial for the person they tested is actually 6.13 cm per square for the first time. Then ask the person to holding the phone or talk to friend, it dropped to 2.55 cm per second. Then turn on the emGuarde, is so-called apparatus during the time is even higher, 26.6, right, centimeter per square. Wow, this is even much higher than before even holding the phone. So therefore, the summary of the invention can effectively suppress the negative effect of electromagnetic radiation or microcirculation from either handheld cellular device or computer connect to wireless network. So this is patented what is function and the benefit of emGuarde, right? Improve and speed up the microcirculation blood flow, suppressing and cancelling the negative effect of electromagnetic radiation. The MYIPO is considered patented organization, the corporate. So let's see the metric, because it's a patented and innovative products. So in Malaysia, anything with the export and the innovative product, they are allowed to put this so-called gadget into the diesel room at the our MITEX, the Matrix Malaysia Export Exhibition Center, right? Or just to take a look. Also, inside, not even other products. And that is part of so we are so proud of that. That's one of the patented technology in the world having this technology from magic. All right. Okay, another so-called the experiment from the high electric field environment. So the high power station also emitted the electromagnetics, and bombarded us. If you are staying around there, you have to be careful. So that's how developer, when he was young, his mother died in leukemia, and he's not satisfied. After a number of years, he actually came back and try to measure using the RD 9100. Right. So from the house itself, you see even 1,000 over just in front of his house, and beside, left or right, there is none. Right. You see wow, it's just only in front, you see. Not far, right, isn't it? But it still sounded from the RD 9100. Right. So just be careful. And for those who are actually staying around this so-called high power station or high field. All right. Okay. So that's my presentation. Right. Presentation for today. So any questions so far before I go for the business marketing plan, right? Okay, let me see. All right, so now I start with the marketing plan. If we know nothing from the chat, SDR software. SDR software you can get from the Shopee or Lazada. You put SDR. According to developer, is actually not easy to set up. You have to have only for Android phone. It's not easy. You have to talk to the developer Ming. They have some experience to set up. If for you might having a tough time. You need more time, to using SDR software. No problem. All right. Okay. So without further ado, so I do the marketing plan. Okay, this emGuarde cost is actually, the price is actually 6620. Not me selling, you have to, it's actually sell by emGuarde. The price is 6620. You can do the installment plan, 0% interest. Quite a number of credit card can be used in Malaysia. 24 months, meaning to say it's a 275 around per month. When you say 200 over expensive for per month, when I say per day is actually divided by 30 days, it's around 9 ringgit per day. And if you say this can use for 5 years to 10 years, according to table, this gadget can, this emGuarde can use for 5 to 10 years. If you say 5 years, minimum, it's actually only 3 ringgit per day to protect your children, your parents, your eldest parents, and so on, right? Okay, so you can have a single payment, credit card installment up to 24 e-payment, 6 months and 12 months. Okay, as a marketing plan or business plan, most of the time we will, because emGuarde is actually direct selling companies, direct from manufacturer. So from direct sales, when you bought the machine or emGuarde, right? Let's say you are new, just now the two gentlemen are new, right? So when you own the emGuarde, then of course you're so excited, you want to share after you know this product, right? And you use it, well, so good. Then you're starting sharing to your relative, your friend or colleagues, right? So this one is so-called considered direct sales, right? And you can get more and more, sales from your direct. Meaning to say you recommend them, you sell them, is direct sales, right? So this direct sale, so indirect sale is like your friend sell to his friend or sell to his colleagues. Probably you knew them, but maybe you don't know them as well. So this person sell to the other person, another person sell to another person, right? We call it indirect sale. So indirect sale, company will even pay you the commission. So from a direct sale itself, you got the commission direct, from company. Indirect, when the friend sell to another friend, you also got the commission. Yeah, is that good? So meaning to say, direct sale plus the indirect sale, we call it group sale. Company will pay you according to the group sale as well, right? So how you pay? You all pay based on the 8-point commission. So one machine emGuarde have a 8-point, total 8-point. So I say per point is actually 300. 8 points is equivalent to 2,400 ringgit. When you sell a unit, either direct sales, you got the 2,400 per sale. But it depends on the ranking where you are, right? 1A is equal to 300. Let's say when you join us, you sell the first unit, you got the 1A. And the second unit, you also have the 1A as well, which is equivalent to 300 ringgit per sales, the direct sales. Then when you introduce another friend, which is your third machine, you will get 600. You will be ranking as a 2A agent. So when you 2A agent, they are count based on third machine until the number 10 machine. Each machine will give you 600 ringgit per machine. Subsequent, when you have accumulated to the 10 sales and the number 11, you will have a ranking at 3A, which is a 900 ringgit commission for you because you are in the agent 3A. Then when you up to the 20, right? 21 company will give you 1,200 each machine from 21 up to 50 for each machine you sell into your next direct. Then the accumulated to 50 and above, you will have 1,500 each machine, the commission. You are in the ranking 5A from starting 51 onwards until you got the 6A accumulated probably 200 if it's just only selling the emGuarde, right? So when you have a 6A, company will pay you 6 points, which is times 300 is each machine you get 1,800 for the next direct sales. All right. Okay. From the chart itself, then I now illustrated based on the so-called diagram. So let's say this is you. You got the emGuarde, or in the Malaysia ringgit, right? So you introduce to Tom for the first machine, emGuarde. Then you are ranking as a 1A. Company pay you 300 from Tom sales. Then you introduce to Alex, me. Then you get the second machine also called as a 1A agent. Company pay you 300. Then the third machine is actually 2A, right? As I say, third machine until the number 10 machine is all 2A. 2A means you get 2 times 300, 1.300, right? 2 points is a 600. Then the Tom also interested and try to share to the Grace. Grace is actually your indirect sales. Company also pay you the commission, the all writing, 300 because it's a 1A ranking here. All right. Then the subsequent, the Grace also okay. Subsequent, the Grace also share with the Poly. Is that the screen very blur? I didn't do anything. All right. And Poly also share to author all indirect sale from this because your whatever you plant, the 1A, you plant the seed, like you plant apple, you get apple. Whatever you plant the 1A range, everything's everything are the 300 ringgit for you, the commission. Right? Let me check again. Okay. All right. Subsequent, okay, then Kim coming from your direct sales, right? Let me check. Share video. All right. Kim is also your 2A range because it's not yet in the 11 unit. Then from Kim itself is so excited and try to share more people. And Kim is actually your 2A range. And as I say, you plant 2A, you get all 2A. You plant peanut, you get peanut, right? You will not get other things. And all the sales from the indirect from Kim or from, is all 600, like Ali Abu sales or Ani sales, all 600 because it's a 2A range from Kim. Right after the 10 group sales, you will have coming from May is a 11, you get 3A. Number 11 is actually 3A. 3A, how much? 3 times 300, which is 900. Then subsequent from Kim Lai, the Ani also excited and tried to start with Brian. Then how much you get? 600 because it's all under 2A range. Ben coming, Bob coming, all 600. Joe coming from Bob, recommend Jet also from Bob, you also get 600. This is all indirect sales, and John also 600 to you. And lastly, the Don, we have to put some stop over here. Yeah, Don, how much you get? Most of people say 3 or 600, isn't it? Right? So just now I mentioned about 8 point per machine. We have 8 point or 8A to given out. So for example, we let us count. John will get the Don 1 point. Bob will get the John 2 point. Annie will get from Bob 2 point. Kim will get Annie 2 point. And how about you? Let me see, 2, 4, 6, 7. You only get left 1. So from Don sales from John, you only got 1 point left from the machine. After minus out the 8 point, you only get 300, which is not the 600. As I say, you plant peanut, you get peanut, right? No. But also according to the condition of the 8 point sales. Then subsequent day, of course, 7 point minus out from given out to the Kim, Annie, Bob, and John. You only left 300, 1 point for you. And when John introduced the third machine, which is a 2A, then coming, then John, then how much you will get from a commission from Dan? John is actually holding now not 1 point, but 2 point. Bob 2 point, Annie 2 point, and Kim also 2 point. So when we count this 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 point is all given out. You got 0. 0. So you got no commission from them because it's actually beyond the 8 point. So we call it is a non-8A sales. Is that a good? So some people will say, not good because I don't have a commission. But this is being patented for 8 point, and not 8A sales, you got 0 is a problem. But for emGuarde, it's called good problem. Because why? If your rankings are higher, then it's okay. Because you eventually emGuarde will pay you back for those non-AA sales. No worry. So this is what I'm trying to illustrate the 8 point. But again, the 8 points, non-8 point sale does not count as a group sales, right? So then subsequent, you introduce another person called Tony. After, here got 20 over, the 21 you will get 4A. So 4A is actually the 4 times 300, 1,200. And then the more you get, more people, everyone's sharing, you have a 51 unit, from Simon. You will get 1,500, and subsequent more than 100. Each machine you introduce, you will get 1,800. You got the 6 point, right? So this is how 8 point patented system work, as well as how the direct sales and indirect sales commission pay to you. I hope you guys understand about this, structure. The very simple, it's not complicated. Very simple. When talk about money, everyone know. All right. So that's all from my sharing from product as well as the marketing plan.